Jumping right into today's video, today I'm going to show you 4 ways to start a cornrow. In this video, I'm going to show you each one in real time, so I encourage you to grab your practice head and follow along. These are the items we'll be using today. This item in particular is totally optional, but if you live with severe eczema like I do, these bandage wraps are my lifesaver. My skin reacts to any and everything, so keeping it covered while working for extended periods of time with different products is incredibly helpful. These are the wraps I use. I picked them up from Amazon. They come in a lot of fun colors, are affordable, and this whole box lasts me a really long time. To part the hair, I'll be using these new Braid School parting combs. Yes, we have parting combs now. These combs are carbon fiber stainless steel, so they are super sturdy, resistant to rust, and resistant to high temperatures up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been testing these out for months, so I know the teeth are strong and durable, and the gapped parting tooth at the top allows for easier curved parting and grasping at small hairs. These combs are now available for purchase, so order yours today and step your braid game up with the right tools in your kit. This is the beginning of many products to come, so save the link below so you can stay updated on new product releases. The hair I'll be practicing with today is the outre twisted up braiding hair in the color 30. Remember, we practice with colored hair so we can see a clear difference between the natural hair and the extension hair. I'm going to start from the very basic and work our way up to a seamless feed-in. Since we're doing 4 cornrows, I'm going to part my section down the middle, clip the hair out of the way, then part the left section down the middle. Parting down the middle, then working your way outward helps you maintain symmetry. Cornrows require a great amount of detail, so you want to make sure you part your sections evenly and as straight as possible. We also want to make sure we have any stray hairs out of the way. So I'm going to use the product to lay all those hairs down. I'm going to apply a thin amount as needed around the entire section. To start the cornrow, I'm going to section off a small piece at the top of the section. Then using the extension hair, I'm going to wrap it around the top piece. If the section was thick enough, I would use that top piece as my third leg of the braid. But since it's on the smaller side, I'm going to split the left side of the extension hair and attach it to the natural hair, then begin braiding like you would a normal box braid. But instead of braiding down one individual braid, I'm going to grab a small bit of hair with each rotation. The most important part of a cornrow is maintaining your grip as you move down. So with every rotation, one hand is holding the braid in place. To keep the braid smooth, you'll notice that I'm smoothing out the strands before I go through each rotation. Remember also, the nape of the neck and the edges of the hairline are delicate, so loosen your grip when you get to those areas. And that's essentially how you complete a basic cornrow with hair added. This type of style has a knot at the top and tends to look more even from beginning to end. Because of the knot at the top, the braid is more secure and ideal for those wanting a fuller look all the way around the head. This style used to be super popular back in the day a long time ago, and believe it or not, I still get a lot of requests for this type of braid. For the second braid, I'm going to prep the section the same way, but this time I'm going to split my braiding hair into thirds, then hook it to create 3 even strands, much like when we start off a 3-strand box braid. I'm going to attach my first section to one of the legs, then begin braiding and grasping at small sections as I move down. You'll see as I start moving down, the braid already looks more even than the first one, simply because we started with 3 even strands. For the third braid, we're going to do a basic feed-in. I'm going to grab the same amount of extension hair, but this time I'm going to split the hair into 4 equal pieces. The idea for this feed-in is to get that graduated look from smaller to large. You don't want your pieces to be different sizes. They should all be around the same size because as you add in each piece, the braid will get larger on its own. Just like the previous 2 braids, I'm going to section off the top, then wrap my first piece around the section. Since the natural hair matches the size of the piece, I can comfortably use it as my third leg. Once I've locked in that first rotation, I'm going to begin adding in my other pieces. People do this many different ways, but this is my way. I place the piece between my pincher fingers, then hold the other side of it with my pinky. I complete a full rotation, then swing that other side back down to lock it underneath the braid. Don't worry, I'll show this several times. There's one rotation. I'm swinging that second side, adding in my next piece, in my pincher, and then holding that other side with my pinky. I'm doing one rotation so that it's left out. When I get back to the other side, I'm going to swing that other side down and underneath the braid. And there you have it, a basic feed-in. You can see the difference is a graduated look compared to the first 2. Starting with a small knot at the top is typically ideal if you don't have enough hair to work with, or if there's not enough natural hair to start the braid. For the last braid, we're going to do the same as our previous feed-in braid, but instead of starting with a knot, we're starting with the natural hair. Judging by the density of the hair, I'm going to want to break my pieces up even smaller. So this time I'm going to do 5 pieces. Before I start adding pieces, I'm going to be sure to lock in the first rotation because that's going to support the rest of the braid. To achieve this, the natural hair has to be full enough and long enough to support that section. Once I've got that first section locked in, I'm going to start adding in my extension pieces. Just like I did with the previous one. I'm adding in my pincher, holding with my pinky, then pulling it and swinging it down underneath the braid. So that's it for today's video. You already know homework will be to get your practice on. Keeping the braid straight is something that takes a lot of practice. Knowing how much hair to add and how much to pick up along the way takes a lot of practice. Increasing your speed takes a lot of practice. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't look perfect the first time. It takes a lot of practice. Progress is the name of the game, and I love to see your work, so feel free to send me your before and afters on IG anytime, whether you want feedback or sometimes you just want some encouragement. I am always there to root you guys on. As always, if you learned something new today, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content like this each and every week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!